as a lot of people, there's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And I think the biggest part of swimming is the lows and how you come back from those lows. And I think the mindset determines how you come back from that. Like, are you going to take a bad race or a bad meet? And are you just going to go to practice and go through the motions? Or are you going to take it and are you going to learn from your mistakes and make sure you never do that in races again? And that's something I get very excited about. I get very excited about working hard to never, be in that place again.
Welcome to we aim to highlight inspiring people doing amazing things in the Swim Strong family and in the greater swim community. All right, I'm here with Charlotte Driesse from Loggerhead Aquatics. We are going to dive into all kinds of awesome stuff. But before we do that, Charlotte, we got to do our rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I am so ready.
All right, let's do it. But here we go. Question number 1. What is your walkout song?
Oh my gosh. Half Truism by The Offspring.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. What was the name of your stuffed animal growing up?
I still have it. Frito.
Frito. Love it. What kind of animal is Frito?
Frito's a cheetah.
That is so awesome. I love it. Hey, cheetahs are fast, so it's good. All right, next question. What's your favorite cartoon character?
Oh, I watched a lot of SpongeBob, so probably SpongeBob.
It's good. Good choice. Favorite candy of all time?
Twix, 100%.
Okay, left Twix or right Twix?
Right Twix.
Okay, good. Yep. All right, how about if you had to survive on a deserted island with 2 of your Loggerhead teammates and or coaches, who gives you the best chance to survive?
I probably do it with Jenna and my sister and a Michael.
Hey, why do you pick them?
They're my lane mates, so we get through like the hardest practices together. So if we can get through our sets together, then we can survive an island.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. And who is a celebrity you would choose to spend a day with if you could pick anyone in the world?
I don't know. Probably Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. Okay.
She's the first person I could think of.
And last question, what's your favorite thing about Swim Strong Dryland?
I love the connection you guys have with not only between my club, but within everybody in the program. Like a big example would be like at Futures this year, every time y'all had a swimmer in the pool, like your whole team would be up and down the pool cheering. And I think that's something really special that you don't see a lot, especially with that many people. So that's awesome.
Very cool. We love doing that. That's the best part. It's so fun watching you guys. You guys work like crazy all season long, and nothing beats the people. So I love that. Charlotte, you did awesome with the rapid fire questions. Good job. Now we'll jump into getting to know you a little bit more. And you're someone who always has fantastic energy, brings up the mood of anyone that's around you, works crazy hard, and you have multiple family members a part of your team, your dad being one of the coaches as well. So I want to dive into that. But before we get into all that, which people will benefit a lot from hearing, can you share just the beginnings of how you got into swimming in the first place, and just kind of take us through your journey from little Charlotte all the way up to right now? How did you get to where you are in the swimming world?
Okay, I actually love telling this story, but okay, so it all started when I was like, I was a late starter, but I was probably like 8, and I was invited to a pool party, and I was the only one out of all my friends wearing a life jacket, and my mom was so embarrassed. So the next week I was put into swim lessons, and I lived in Louisiana until I was 13. So I was swimming out of like the LSU pool. So that was really cool. I got to like start my career like in that atmosphere. So I started swimming when I was like 8 or 9, and then I really started to like it when I was 10, and then moved to Florida when I was 13. And the vibe is so different in Louisiana swimming and Florida swimming. Like I remember looking at the 11-12s and they were all so much faster than me. And I was like, oh gosh, this is the real deal. So that's when swimming became like huge to me once we moved here. And then it just went from there and now we're here.
When you came from Louisiana to Florida, so you talked about the vibes being different. Are you just talking about like the competition or just like the way people train, the mindset? What was so unique between the two?
Well, definitely the competition was huge. It's just so much deeper than it is in Louisiana. And then the way people train, like I got to Loggerhead and like we were using like pulleys and cords. And like when I was in Louisiana, like that was only for like the college swimmers. So I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is cool. So definitely like the way people train and then obviously the mindset with good competition, you're going to get good mindset. So that's a two and one. So everything.
And when you came over to Loggerhead, in terms of like the training being higher level, competition being higher level, was that something that you were excited about, or it kind of like hit you in the face at first and you found like a competitive edge, or have you always been like someone who just wants to be great at what you're doing?
I think I've always been like that. My dad raised me really well to be like that. Like I remember we've been doing like when I would before we even started swimming, me and my siblings would do dry lands in the driveway. Like lunges to the street. We'd like jump up and touch the basketball goal. Like we've always kind of been a
I
very
love it.
determined bunch. So I got to Florida and like everybody like wanted to swim and everybody wanted to get better. And like I was just like, oh my gosh, like I found my people. like people actually care about swimming and like not care about swimming, but they like wanted to like be great at it. And like I just think that's something I wanted to do. And I was like, it's so much easier to do it when you're among other people that want to do it.
Yeah,
So
no, that makes perfect sense for sure. When you're surrounded by like-minded people, it just fuels you to go even further than you ever could have when you're not. And can you talk about your family? So you guys have an awesome family dynamic, your siblings, as well as your dad. And I love the story about doing dry land on your driveway and jumping on the basketball hoop. That's amazing. I absolutely love that. And I'm not surprised by that at all. All of you guys are absolute beasts. Your dad's a monster. Like, it's so fun to see the mentality and the work ethic like come together. But also, you guys just have such good connection with one another and personality. So, can you just talk a little about what it's been like being with your family, like in this journey?
of course. So me and my family are very close. We're closer than most. And I have the privilege of having my siblings in my group and my dad being the dryland coach. And I think that's something that I've really have not taken advantage of. Like I am my siblings' role model and they're my role model. And I think like especially during harder practices, like when I know they're putting their best foot forward, like that makes me want to put my best foot forward. And like when we're doing like my brother's they're both beasts, but my brother's like a distance. I don't know how he does it, but like when we're doing like 300 repeats, like I'm just like, don't get lapped by Lincoln, don't get lapped by Lincoln. And like knowing that he's like putting everything he has into it, like because we're on the same interval group. That's why I'm using him as an example. But um he just amazes me and I'm sure I amaze him in some ways, but but that makes me work that little extra harder. And then my sister is like she always goes third in my lane, so when we do like IM and brushstrokes, like I'm just like, okay, don't let her get on your feet, don't let her get on your feet. And like also like them being there like talking through the sets and like just bonding during practices, like it just makes me want to be there even more. And like they're my motivation to get up, especially in morning practices. Like I have to get up or else they're not going to want to do it. And then it's the same way. So they definitely inspire me every day. And then my dad is just my dad's like my role model basically. My dad I do a lot of stuff because of my dad. He's definitely taught me the right ways about everything, not about swimming, just about life and like never giving up and always putting everything you have into every rep is just so important to him. And that's like that's how I live. So everything I do, I owe it to him.
That's incredible. Well, shout out to your whole family because they're all
Shout out.
amazing.
Oh yeah,
They're amazing,
for sure.
and it's really cool to get to know all of them, and for you obviously to get to be with them every single day in the pool and out of the pool is pretty unique and an awesome situation that um, is just really special. So, but going along the lines of kind of the mentality you have of getting the most out of every set, every rep, everything you do. Obviously, you mentioned it doesn't just translate to the pool; it translates to life as well. But would you say that like that mindset has been like the biggest factor in your success? Like that it's something that you have developed and seen this is the game changer for me, or is there other things that you would attribute your success to?
Oh, for sure. There's been, as a lot of people, there's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and I think the biggest part of swimming is the lows and how you come back from those lows. And I think the mindset determines how you come back from that. Like, are you going to take a bad race or a bad meet? And are you just going to go to practice and go through the motions? Or are you going to take it and are you going to learn from your mistakes and make sure you never do that in races again? And
Yeah.
that's something I get very excited about. I get very excited about working hard to never, be in that place again. And I think that all comes from the mindset because that implements on how you practice. And then obviously that implements on how you race.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's huge.
And you actually mentioned to me that you write down everything that you do at the end of each day. Is that right? And record kind of all of your thoughts throughout the day or things
Mhm.
that happen.
Right. So basically everything involved in swimming, I put in my notes app. Like the big thing is every threshold we do a lot of threshold sets, but every threshold we do, I write down all of those times and I write down like how I felt during those times. So and I never lie about that. So when I look back at that, I'm like, okay, I was feeling awful, but I was swimming good. So like, it's okay. It's okay to be feeling bad. And then like, on days where I feel good in the water, I write down what I ate that day so I know like what I need to fuel myself with to feel good later in the afternoon at
Mm-hmm.
practice. And then like during like IM sets or aerobic sets when it's just like so hard to get through, I also write down like how I feel during that. So I think that's a big thing, and it's helped me a lot. I started it about a year ago, and I'm very glad I did.
One of the biggest, that takes a ton of discipline, by the way. So anybody listening who's like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a fantastic idea, but try to do it every single day
Yeah.
for a year, and then you'll see the benefits from it. But if you just try it for like a couple weeks, it's not really going to have the same effect. You'll be like, this isn't really worth it. But there's so few people who do anything like that because it takes so much discipline. It's one of those like boring things that's like, well, how am I getting better by writing something down? It's like you are 100% because you're learning so much along the way about yourself and you're applying that, but it takes time. So how do you stay disciplined to do that? And what benefits have you, what are some of the biggest benefits you've seen that you've like grown from in doing that?
So I totally forgot to mention like the most important thing to me that I write down is like I write down like I call it the 2 week until meet like analysis. And because like when you're tapering, like you never really feel the same any day that you're tapering. So like when I get nervous for my next meet, I look back on like that past analysis and I'm like, okay, I didn't feel good on this day either. And I had a really good meet. So like it's more for like my mental being. So I'm like positive about it. But that's definitely something that is worth mentioning. And I think I do it because I see the results and I haven't seen results when I didn't do that because I didn't, it's hard to get better when you don't know like everything it took to get there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
I'm holding like a certain time and I write it down and then the next week I'm faster, like, am I going to forget what I was going last week? Like, you never know. So it's good to
Mm-hmm.
have a hard copy of it.
It makes perfect sense. And I know something that drives coaches nuts too is when you're doing, whether it be a threshold set or just timed work or whatever it is, where it's important to know what you're doing so that you're doing the set correctly. And people don't even look at the clock sometimes or listen to the time that's given to them. And here you're talking about every set, recording your times and really owning it. And that is something that really makes a swim athlete successful, is owning your journey. And so it's no surprise why you're as successful as you are. But where does that ownership come from? I mean, is that something that you've always done? Is it something you learned from your dad, like you were talking about? Is it something that you're like, if I want to get better, I have to own this? Like, how did you get to the point where you're like, this is my journey, not my coach, not my family, it's me?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit on my dad. I think I learned it from him when he, like, some days when he writes down his running times or something dumb like that. But it's mostly me. Like, I think I take a lot of responsibility on myself, and I know I have to do a lot of things differently if I want different results. And that's something that obviously, like, I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but like that's something that works for me. And I'm a big believer in, like, you do what works for you. So
Yeah.
if it worked for me this one time, then it's going to work for me again. So it's just stayed like that. So
yeah, very cool. Well, you have not only great discipline in doing that, you have a phenomenal mindset of trying to get the most out of every single thing you're doing. Like you said, you're an amazing teammate, and human. And it's no surprise that all that has translated to you also being really successful in the water. And I always tell people, like, I could care less if you swim insanely slow or insanely fast, if you're not a great person, like if your character sucks.
yeah.
But typically when you have really strong character, you are going to be the one who does all the little things right and takes ownership of your journey and is a good teammate and does everything you can to be the best you can be. And you're going to get great results in the water. And you are the perfect example of that. And it's funny you were talking about Florida swimming being so fast. I mean, you're dominating in the state of Florida, and you're, correct me if I'm wrong here, high school state champion this past year. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like that's pretty cool. Like that's not easy to do, and a spot that most people would love to be. Junior national qualifier, like state champion, and one of the fastest states in the country. Like these are not easy things to accomplish, and they're just things that have happened as a byproduct of you doing all the right things. But can you talk a little about how all that work and preparation has you ready for big moments, like when you were behind the blocks at high school state? Like, how, looking back now, how did everything you do prepare you for like high pressure moments like that?
Well, I still get really nervous. I get nervous for all of my races. Like that's something I need to work on. But I think getting nervous is good.
Yeah.
But I do think that something I think about when I'm nervous is, like, I've done the work. Like, I know I've done the work. I haven't written down that I've done the work. Like, I have coaches telling me that I have. I just am confident that I have. And, maybe it's not there at that meet, and that's fine. Especially like right now, like in the middle of some really good training. So it's okay if it's not there once. I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fine. Like, you're just
Yeah.
gonna go to practice, and you're gonna do the work again, and it's gonna show up when it needs to. So that's just remembering it is just all it really takes.
Yeah. That's really great advice for anybody who's got racing thoughts behind the blocks. Just remember that you've done the work, and that whatever happens is going to happen. But whenever you start second guessing yourself or trying to overanalyze a bunch of different things that you've already practiced, that's, in my opinion, when you're not setting yourself up for success. Like you did all the work, you know how to swim, and now it's time to let yourself have fun and give your best effort. And if you do that, like, that's it. And like you said, if it's not here today, okay, I'll be here next time.
Right. Like,
And
you won't, I'm not disappearing. Like,
it'll all be okay. And sometimes people struggle so much with tying in their identity with swimming. Like, I am a swimmer. No, you're not. You're Charlotte who swims, and it's something that you do because you enjoy it. And so remembering who you are and remembering why you're doing it too, I think, is always important, especially when you're really down on yourself. But can you talk about bouncing back from failure, or just like not reaching goals that you wanted? Something was really disappointing. how do you deal with that? Because it's just such a common reality, a normal reality for anyone who swims. Welcome to swimming. Failure is a part of it. But how do you deal with that? Where does your mind go?
Well, the first time I had a really, really bad meet, that's when I started writing everything down. So that was step one. I was like, okay, well, this needs to make a change. Like, what do I need to do? Like something big that like is going to hold me accountable. So I started doing that. But I'd say like, if say like my underwaters aren't the best sometimes. So if my underwaters weren't good in a race or in a meet, then every practice, every wall, three kicks off every wall. Like no excuses. Like even when I'm like struggling so hard in the pool, like guess what? I'm gonna be struggling that in that race again. So three kicks off every wall. If my tempo wasn't good, like we do a lot of initial speed on my team. So just trying to get those hands moving faster, arms moving faster, and kicking harder during that initial speed and not maybe go through the motions because it really is easy to go through the motions on that when you're doing 25s on 40.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to let it slip away, but you can't do that. And just like I think knowing how you can improve is the first step, and then making it a difference in practice is the second step, and then thinking about it, and then it becomes muscle memory.
Yeah.
So
that's great. I love how you break that, the step-by-step process that you're breaking down. I hope people are writing this down, like taking notes, because you're giving them like gems here. Guys, take note. So like you have to know what you're doing wrong first or what you can learn from before you can change anything, right? Whether it's your mindset that was wrong, whether it's your physical preparation that you weren't ready, whether it's mobility that you need to work on, or your nutrition you didn't prepare yourself well for, whatever it is. If you don't know it, then you can't work on it. And then actually coming up with an actual action plan to make steps forward, and then executing that plan consistently day after day after day. And then it becomes a habit. Everybody wants to just be like, oh, my underwaters aren't good. Like, hopefully they'll be better by the next meet. It's like,
I'll just do them next race. No, it doesn't work like that.
It's not how it works, guys. Yeah, so that's such good advice. And so with everything that you have experienced, accomplished, and all the ways in which you've grown in your swim journey, you committed to University of Kentucky, and so they are getting such an amazing human, and I don't even know if they realize how lucky they are. But how did you end up landing on them out of all the options that you could have picked from?
Oh man. Okay. So I don't know. I've always really liked watching them. Like a big thing was Riley Gaines a few years ago. Like that did something to me, watching how she not only swam but how she was a person. So that was when I first that's when they first caught my eye, and then like we started talking over the summer, and I loved getting to know Caitlin and Brett, and they were like so personal, and they were so like inspiring to me, like over the phone. And like I could tell, like you can tell when a coach either wants you for swim or just like really wants you just like as a person.
Yeah.
And then got my visit, and then I visited, and I absolutely loved it. Like I had the best group of girls on my trip with me, who a lot of have committed to, so that's really exciting. And the coaching staff was amazing. The campus was beautiful. The pool was great. It's nothing I've ever experienced. Like, because my team, we train as you saw, like we don't have much. So being there, I was just like taken back. I was like, well, this is amazing.
That is so great. And the one thing that you said in there that I especially loved, I mean, I love all of it, but that you could tell the coaches wanted you for you, not just for swimming. And that's what I want for everybody. I want everybody in the Swim Strong family, even people who, just anyone in the swim community in general, to, if you're going to swim in college, like, don't put so much emphasis on the school that you're swimming at as much as the people and how they'll actually care for you, because that's everything. Like if you have that, you're already set up in a situation to be successful. So that's really incredible that you found a situation like that. And it's going to be really exciting to see what you do there once you go. Obviously we got some more time before we do that, but it is going to be really exciting. And can you talk a little about some of your goals right now in the meantime with club swimming? Some of the things that you're really hoping to accomplish before you finish your club swim career?
I don't like putting like insane amount of pressure on like time goals. Like obviously
Mm-hmm.
they're in the back of my mind for
Sure.
sure, but it's just like I'm trying to focus on a big range of events right now, like not just particularly one event, because I
Yeah.
think like versatility is everything. And I really like being able to swim like a totally like mix of events. So just trying to get better at like handling all of that. Um, being able to sprint and then do like distance I am. Like, I think that's cool. So keep
Yeah.
trying to do that for sure.
What's your
And
favorite
then
event to swim right now? What's your favorite event to race?
2 I am because I swam that in high
Okay.
school. So I've swam that so much. I just know how to do that really well.
Yeah. Do you have any events that you don't like right now that you're like trying to make yourself like?
Oh, I do not like the for free at all. Gosh, that is not my forte, but I do need to get better at that race for sure. And I'm at Yeah, so I need to get better at that one to definitely as we're heading into long course season. And I'm actually also excited because I do like long course season a lot. Because like I said earlier, my turns aren't amazing, and then long course you lose the turns, so that's fun. Um,
But
so
the
yeah,
good thing about
I'm
oh, sorry,
excited.
go ahead.
No, I finished it.
I was just gonna say the good thing about being great at long course swimming is it means you're a great swimmer. So if you're and there's nothing wrong with being good at short course and not good at long course, but it means you're a really good swimmer. And as far as like getting better at short course, working on the technical details of the walls and underwaters, things like that, just means there's so much more potential for you to improve upon, right? It's not a technique thing. We just continue to work on speed, power, pop off the walls, and then some maybe some technique with the underwaters. But I always get really excited when you have someone who's really great at long course, not as good at short course, because it tells me like, well, one, long course is the Olympic swimming distance. So, but two, it
Right.
just means there's a lot of potential to be gained there. And a lot of that can come from continued dry land too. And can you talk a little bit about your experience doing Swim Strong, just day to day favorite parts of the program, or like specific exercises that you've really enjoyed? Anything that comes to mind when you think about like just the day to day grind with Swim Strong with you and your team.
Totally. We love Swim Strong. My personal favorite Swim Strong exercise is landline presses. I love landline presses because like I can feel like my back becoming so big. And like
I love it.
that's something I can keep the weight, like the guys do the weights and then like usually the girls have to take them off because we can't lift it, but I don't have to take them off for the landline press, so I'm saving some
Yeah.
energy, but I'm also like getting stronger, so that's something I really like. And then I also love the hip mobilities, like the 90-90s.
Mm-hmm.
I love those because it's like not like a breather exercise, but it's like when you're going really hard exercises and then like in the middle you have like heel click, so you're working on getting like obviously like stronger hips, but you're not really like it doesn't take that much out of you, but it's still like you're trying to work on the details. So I really like that
Yeah.
one.
That's great to hear. The little detail exercises that make you focus on little details, that it's not like, oh, I'm dying right now. Someone with a mindset like you're, oftentimes people who are like really love hard work sometimes don't love like the things where you have to slow down and pay attention to the details. But you also have that mindset of knowing this is going to translate to the pool and pay major benefits. It's not always just about being tired, right? Or
Mhm.
everything being like really hard. And I think people need to know that, because if you're just constantly doing only things that beat you down, you're never really gonna improve as much as you hope. So it's refreshing to hear you talk about that. Just hip mobility, like favorite. I love the landmine presses and the hip mobility combination, because there's like a combo of grit and like focus on little details,
Right.
and that's like what makes somebody great. Is there any exercise that you see it on the board ever and you're like, oh dang it, I don't want to do that?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh God, what's it? It was the one where you were here for that one. I think it was like it was skater squats. Oh my
Oh,
God,
skater
I'm
squats.
so
Yes.
bad at skater squats. My dad makes so much fun of me for it. I can't do it well.
Yet, but you
Yet,
will be.
yet, yet. I just don't
Yeah.
have the balance yet, but
Yeah.
I will.
I love it. Yeah, no, those are for me, anytime people ask that question, it's almost always some form of squat, like whether it be Bulgarian split squats, skater
Oh
squats,
yeah. We
heavy
do a lot of
lunges,
squats.
squats. Yeah, like it's just those are just not. But you know, you build some mental toughness when you do those too. But obviously important. But I agree with you. I understand. um, well, just to finish up, I want to just be able to give you a chance to say, for anybody kind of a couple years behind you in their swim journey, kind of looking back on your career, um, what would be a piece of advice you would give maybe to a younger swimmer? Maybe think about speaking to your younger self or just younger swimmers in general who look up to you, because there is no doubt people who look up to you on your team and in your area and people who know you across the country, I bet. And so if you could say like, hey, this has been the most impactful thing for me to remember, have in my mind, or this is something that will really benefit you in the long term. If you just keep this in mind, that's kind of a loaded question, but I'm curious what comes to mind when I say that.
I think for sure, like you just gotta. This is very broad, but I'll explain. You just have to keep believing in yourself. Like there will be days you'll get in your car after practice, and you'll be like, "Oh God, like I did not do good. I felt terrible. Like I feel like I've been working so hard for nothing. Like I feel like I've done things that other people haven't done. I'm just like not seeing the results. Like you will see those results. It just takes a lot of time, and if you be consistent with it, like you're gonna see results and you're gonna see green and it's gonna be okay and you're gonna be better than the people you're comparing yourself to. Just like that's all part of the sport is experiencing those hardships.
Hmm. That's good. Patience and consistency, no matter what the results are, because it's going to be all over the
Mm-hmm.
place. That's
Oh yeah.
fantastic advice. Charlotte, it's been so fun having you on the podcast. It's amazing having you as a part of the Swim Strong family. I'm super grateful for you and inspired by you. Thanks for taking the time to come on here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch a new episode each Monday. You can also check us out on social media at SwimStrong Dryland. If you would like to join the SwimStrong family, visit our website at swimstrongdryland.com.